Isn't that Star Trek?
Yeah.
That'll do. I like that. That's kind of weird. With a full-on orchestra. Great.
Alrighty.
I wasn't doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Limitless.
We're back.
Okay, so our next movie, I guess, is Patty?
Yep.
Yeah.
See that guy? That's me. My excuse for looking like this? I'm a writer.
Eddie, maybe it's time to let the writing go.
But just in case you think nothing ever happened to me.
Eddie Mora.
Hey. Tell me about this book. Well, how much have you written of it?
Not one word.
Well, I suppose I can help you with that.
You know how they say that we can only access 20% of our brain? This lets you access all of it. They've had clinical trials and it's FDA approved.
All right, just out of curiosity, and that's all. I was blind, but now I see.
A tablet a day, and I was limitless. I now had cultural appetites.
Since when do you speak Italian?
I finished my book in 4 days.
I'd like to renegotiate my advance.
Math became useful.
From 12,000 to 2.3 million in 10 days.
I'm baffled by this guy. So, Eddie Mora, you do know you're a freak. What's your secret?
Medication.
Your powers are a gift from God or whoever the hell wrote your life script. I'll open up a line of credit for you. You'll be wanting a few toys.
How many of us ever know what it is to become the perfect version of ourselves?
What's the asking price?
12.5.
I'll take it.
Everything I have, I want to share with you.
What you doing, hon? You think somebody's watching?
My brain is skipping time. I have no memory of the last 4 days.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it.
Your powers are not earned. You're careless with those powers. Have you asked yourself what you're gonna do when you run out? You'll die.
No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours.
There's no scenario in which you'd lead this life where you don't work for me.
No scenario. I see every scenario. I see 50 scenarios. That's what it does, Carl. It puts me 50 moves ahead of you. Worth the risk? What would you do?
Okay, Limitless is 2011. They say thriller action, and some people call it a sci-fi, but no, just thriller action. It's Bradley Cooper, Robert De Niro. Those are the two most important ones. I only stick to the people who are really interesting in the.
There's Abby Cornish, the girl.
Yeah, Abby Cornish is good too.
I guess she's kind of...
Director Neil Berger. So Eddie, which is Bradley Cooper, he's kind of like a down-and-out writer. He lives like a slob. He looks like a slob. And he hasn't got a rosy future. And then he runs into a friend of his who turns him on to a new drug that's hit the market called NZT. And what it does is it enhances your brain to its full potential. And what if anybody had told me, okay, this is a movie about a guy who finds a drug and him always looking for it and the trouble he gets in, I never would have wanted to watch it because you've seen one drug movie, you've seen them all, right?
Yeah.
But it's the way they do this movie. He's narrating, Bradley Cooper is the entire time, telling what's going on. And it's the way they show how the drug operates that really is so smart. It's so different. And then Robert De Niro comes in because Bradley Cooper realizes he wants to make a lot of money. And so a really rich tycoon, Robert De Niro, comes in, sees he's got this genius guy, doesn't know how he does it. And all the time, Bradley Cooper is maneuvering around trying to find this drug that everybody's dying from because they're not tapering off or they're just taking it. So he starts recognizing when people are taking it, the brilliant ones, and who's dropping dead because of it. At the same time, a Russian mob guy that he borrows money from gets a pill from him, and now he's after him because he wants him to give him more drugs. And it just goes on like that. But the ending I thought was really unique because you always think it's going to have like such a bad ending, and it didn't. So I really liked it.
Okay, so I read a review that said a schlep who became king.
Yes.
A schlep
God, that's
who
the
became
perfect
king,
description.
right? It reminded me, now, you have to stretch here, but it kind of reminded me of Jerry Lewis in The Nutty Professor, where he's like this kind of doofus scientist, and then he becomes like, I forget what's
suave guy.
what's his name, like Bill, or I forget, he has a name,
right.
right? A really cool name. So it kind of reminded me of that.
Good analogy, Sue. I never even thought of that.
Bradley Cooper is great as Eddie Mora. First, he's the schlep, and then he's like this brilliant genius. So he does that very well and very believable. He's very likable, the guy. So the idea was very intriguing, and the movie feels kind of it's kind of like, where's this going?
Yeah.
Where's this going to go?
It's not your usual drug movie.
Yeah, and it's also a sci-fi in a funny way, which I love. So yeah, I really like this movie, and I really like Bradley Cooper in the movie. I thought he was great. Robert De Niro is always Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
He plays typical Robert De Niro, right? And everybody else, the two ladies in it are very good too. But it's really Bradley Cooper's movie.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, he
So
carries it.
yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna start the rate. Right? I'm gonna give.
George hasn't said what he thought.
Did you take the pill?
I forgot.
Really,
I'm
Susan?
too quiet. I'm too quiet here.
Oh dear.
I like it. Thanks, Mike.
I'm drinking sake. That's
So-
forgiven.
Oh yeah, me. Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie too. I always think that I'm not gonna like Bradley Cooper, and I always end up liking his
I always
movies.
like
Me too, yeah.
It's was it The Hangover? Was he in it?
Yes, he was in it.
The sniper one.
Yeah.
So in
And Rocket. He's
oh,
Rocket.
right, he's Rocket too. Yeah. So I was he plays he's kind of like I think the screen likes him. He has a lot of charisma. He kind of
Yeah, he has a lot of charisma.
He's likable on the screen. He's kind of anyways. Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie. I love I thought he was great in his character.
Right.
And the one thing that I really liked about this movie is that the camera work, the scenes.
Yeah.
They had a lot of shots of there were a lot of shots where the camera would go through the city. You would basically travel through a lot of blocks and go right between car windows and just keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
Because he's on drugs.
Yeah,
That's
because
how
I'm
we
drugs. So
see
yeah,
it.
and also I like that whenever he would take the drug, the colors would become bright.
Yeah.
And almost kind of like an orange hue, and everything was so much brightness. And then once it wears out, it's back to gray New York.
Yeah.
So that's like New York became California suddenly when he took the drug. So
Yeah.
but anyways, and they had a lot of like one of the side effects, because obviously it's Catch-22, drug Catch-22, where you take it and it makes you it raises your IQ, to its your brain to its full potential. So, but the side effect is that you become dependent on it, and if you stop taking it, you will die eventually.
Yeah.
So, but another side effect is that he goes into these kind of like time leaps, where he goes like because he's doing a million things going at 100 miles an hour, and then next thing you know, 16 hours pass by, and he's like, where am I? What do I do?
Yeah.
I go, we already have a drug dice. Go, cocaine. So, but also the movie would show you that the kind of like the time warp through the visuals, which I thought was great. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was entertaining, and I really enjoyed the visuals on it.
Who was the director on that movie?
Neil Berger.
Oh, and he wrote it and he directed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a great job.
It was only 69% approved.
Yeah.
People have no
That's
taste.
That's why we do this, so you'll find movies that are
well,
good.
the critics gave it 69. The audience gave it 74.
Yeah, well, that's I thought it was good. Okay, so now
I like the part when he takes the drug and he turns into Rocket.
Anybody who can play Rocket on Guardians of the Galaxy is okay in my book. And Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah.
Patty's favorite movie.
Oh yeah.
No. Guardians
Wonderful.
of the Galaxy.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9 too.
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay, so now we're on to our last movie. Actually, I Care a Lot was the one we all picked. We all picked kind of. This was Patty's movie, Limitless.
Yeah.
And now I gotta find.
We'll be back.
Yeah.